Hey, welcome. So today we're diving into a really powerful teaching about inner peace. And it's a path that isn't about gaining more stuff, but about releasing what we are already holding on to. You know, it all starts with this one single beautiful idea.
This little poem, it's pretty much the heart of everything we're going to talk about. It suggests that letting go isn't this thing we have to force ourselves to do or struggle with. Nope. It's a natural process, an eternal law, just like a dewdrop falling from a leaf. But I mean, if it's so natural, why do we so often feel completely, totally stuck?
Okay, let's get into this central problem. And there's a really great metaphor for it, the eddy. I think it's just the perfect image for how we so often experience our own lives.
So, picture this. Life is this huge, constantly flowing river. But we often don't see ourselves as part of that flow, do we? Instead, we see ourselves as these little whirlpools, these eddies, kind of separate, fixed, and just spinning in place, always resisting that main current. We build our whole sense of self around that resistance.
And all this clinging, well, it has some real consequences. When we hold on so tight to this idea of a fixed self, we put up these artificial walls between me and everything else. And then we start collecting all this baggage, old ideas, resentments, fears, and it all gets trapped in our little eddy. And by doing that, we end up creating friction and blocking the very energy of life that's supposed to be flowing right through us.
So if that's the problem, what's the solution? You might think it's going to require years of super complex study, but actually, a core teaching from the Buddha suggests something way, way simpler.
I just love this image. It's so powerful. It's basically saying, look, you don't need to get lost trying to grab every single leaf in the whole forest of knowledge. The path to freedom? It's right here, and just a handful of essential truths. Actually, it gets even simpler than that.
According to the teacher Joseph Goldstein, when you really, really boil it all down, the Buddha taught one essential practice. That's it, just one.
And there it is. That's the one thing. The entire handful of leaves. The whole path can be summed up in these two words, letting go. Or, in the original texts, the term is bung-sa, which means a total release, a complete non-clinging to anything at all. This is the key that unlocks everything else.
Okay, but what does that actually look like in real life? Because it's a really easy idea to misunderstand. So let's get super clear on what letting go is and, just as important, what it isn't.
This is the big question, isn't it? Does letting go mean you just become irresponsible? Does it mean you stop caring about the future? No, not at all. There's a really important distinction that we have to make here.
And here's that crucial distinction. Letting go is all about living in the present. It's this mindful awareness that, hey, this moment we're in right now, it's built from everything in the past, and it's actively creating our future. Now, that's totally different from living for the present, which is this mistaken idea that this moment is totally separate from everything else. That can lead to just being selfish and wasteful. True letting go is actually deeply responsible.
This completely reframes how we think about a practice like meditation. It's not about forcing your mind into some special, super calm state on a cushion. It's a way of life. It's simply being with our experiences, the good, the bad, the totally neutral, with a sense of ease, just letting them be what they are. This quote comes from this amazing story about a wise old monk. He's found working his tail off, drying mushrooms in the blistering hot sun. A younger monk comes up and asks him why he doesn't just rest or get someone else to do it. And this was his answer. The whole point is, our practice, our life, it's always right here, right now, in whatever it is we're doing. So what happens when we really start to practice letting go? Does it make us distant, maybe disconnected from everything? The answer is actually the complete opposite. It leads to this incredibly profound connection with the world. This is probably one of the biggest myths out there, that spiritual practice is about floating away from all of life's messiness. But true freedom, true letting go, it actually allows us to engage with the world more authentically, more directly, without that filter of all our clinging and resistance.
There's this famous gesture of the Buddha. It's known as touching the earth, and it's the perfect symbol for this state of being. It represents bringing together our vast, clear inner awareness with the solid, real, tangible world right under our feet. It's the ultimate expression of being grounded and completely present. And this is where the practice gets real. We don't find peace by hoping that life gets easier. We find it by cultivating the inner clarity to meet all of life's challenges. Whether it's something as boring as filling out tax forms, or as intense as dealing with jealousy, or even facing illness with a steady and open mind.
And this poem just beautifully captures what that feels like. We stop searching for peace and clarity outside of ourselves, in rituals or in dreams. Through this practice of letting go, we just awaken to the realization that the peace, the clarity, the moon, it's been inside us the whole time.
And so here we are, full circle, right back to this simple, profound image. The goal isn't to become some master practitioner of letting go. The goal is to return to our own nature, where release is as effortless and as natural as a dewdrop falling from a leaf. It's the eternal law.
And that leaves us with one final thought to reflect on. What if all of our striving, all of our efforts to let go, are actually the very things getting in the way? What if the real practice is simply to stop resisting, to get out of our own way and just to allow the natural flow of life to move through us once more?